fucking overlays, man, I tell ya. We're working through some things here. As you can see, the overlays are still not working properly. But, again, we're working through it. Okay, fuck it. Those ugly ass bars will have to stay. Whoop. Sometimes technology just doesn't want to work for me. Well, the one little box is supposed to show the chat, but clearly I've not set something up properly, so whatever. Let's just go with it. Hi. There's a follower box that seems to work. This looks a little outdated, but it works. I don't know why the chat box is so in the middle of the screen. This is one of those things you gotta test, I guess. So, let's do this guy, now that there's some annoying chat boxes on the screen that don't work. We'll just continue with this guy. So, main red is, oops, not that one. Wyvern red is what I've now put into the little crevices to add some depth to it. And resplendent red is what I meant to grab. That is the main color. So I don't know how well that comes across, but there's now details and layers on there. Looks a lot better red on camera, that's for sure. Oh look, there is a little chat thing on there. It's just not on the chat box. Oh, Twitch, you'll be the death of me. So, we're going to finish some of the arm work here so that I can get some more gold on there. Because he's missing stuff because I wanted to do the silver and gold on that spot. As I've been using the Workhorse brush, Tesseract Minis. Pretty damn good brush if I do say so myself. Not a paid advertisement or anything, I just like it. So, let's get some paint on this bitch. Once I get some water off here. So we're gonna get into some of these spots that I purposely left out because I knew I was painting the silver. I'm gonna have to pay attention to where that box is. Fuck. So we got a little bit in here, just kind of on the bottom of the hand. And I just want to touch up that finger. There we go. Now the fingertips on the other side, which I think are a little bit harder. Oh, well, that's popping up on screen terribly, it looks like. Whew. Come on. Focus. Okay, I'll go a little lower. Maybe that'll work. Really got to try to see what I'm doing here, so I'm trying to pull it towards me like how I normally paint when there's no camera on. And breaking that habit after a year and a half is a hell of a thing to do. But when I painted the silver, I left a bunch of spots white. So now I'm just kind of going back in, and now that I've defined where the silver is, I can go and take this red and finish covering those spots. Looks like I might have missed a silver spot, but that's okay. These little hands are a pain in the ass to get into, let me tell you. Still don't understand why that chat box doesn't work, but you can see the chat next to the chat box, so that looks super awesome. Gotta love that. So again, we're just trying to get the last little bit of white around this hand that's holding the staff. And of course, it's kind of a weird lumped together chunk, because I guess how else would you do the model, but now we're just going to touch up some of the other red from previous. Get some of these spots in here. This whole arm bracer thing is just gold anyway, so it's not a big deal if I go over it or miss it, or it's not really a big deal. Now you probably can't see that very well, but gotta get underneath. There. Now his hands and arms are appropriately colored, so that's good. My biggest issue is I went and done the highlights here, and then I went and mixed my own color for the blue with the pearlescent white and Beowulf blue, and that's what came of it. But once I did it, I realized I don't know what the fuck to highlight that with. So it's very, very flat right now. Shine or no shine. So I've been trying to figure out what to do with that, and I have yet to come up with a solution. There's some white underneath his little pouch there that I want to get. I just saw. I don't like. So we'll go and get that with the tip of the brush here. I know nobody will probably ever see that spot, but I saw it, so it needs to go away. See, if you take that blue and we do what? That's a little bit lighter, maybe. And this one maybe, but it would have to be mixed with the white pearlescent. And that's where I'm not sure. So here's the white. It's actually the light of the sterling silver set. So there's the base, the shade, and the light. So if I try to mix that to get those in, I have a feeling I'm gonna have to go darker, but I'm not 100% sure on that. The whole other problem too is the shade in the crevices is not going to be correct. So that's a whole other problem. So we'll put those in there. And, I mean, it should turn out a lot brighter, I guess. Kind of backed myself into a corner with that one, to be honest. Because now, I either paint over it or I stick with the pearlescent look to it, the sparkly look. And I kind of like the sparkly look. There's something a little different. Kind of a happy accident. Man, that chat is driving me bonkers. Oh, fuck. Absolutely bonkers, that chat. If anybody else is in here and wants to shoot a chat out, send me a message. I'm very, very curious to see. I guess it's just going to continue on that line, won't it? I don't know why it's not lined up. Ugh. Oh, Twitch. So, I'm going to mix that darker blue that I showed you with this white. And we're going to continue on. Go away. Put it in the freezer. Put it in the freezer. Put it in the freezer. My 10-year-old kid doesn't understand what put it in the freezer means. It'll just freeze for tomorrow. There's nothing today. So, I don't know if you can see that. That's not... It's kind of... Wow, that's really hard to focus. That's the color made. I still can't... I guess it's a little bit lighter, so let's try it anyway. It has some of the sparkle in it. I don't know, let's see. This might be a win, this might be a loss, but let's just try it out and see. It's definitely lighter, which is good. I don't know how pearlescent-y it really is, but I don't like doing heavy metal highlights, but I wanted to just try something different with this one here. I'm sure a lot of you guys enjoy that fine edge highlighting stuff, but for whatever reason I just don't like it. Don't like the look, and I don't do it very often. I don't know how pearlescent that really is, to be honest with you. Maybe a little bit. Choices. So we're going to try to get this edge. Maybe my paint's dried up already, so we're going to go get some more paint. So unsure about how I feel about this one. So I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to tell with the light blasting down on it. It is lighter. It's definitely lighter. But I don't know if that's the way to go or not. So we're going to put the other layer over it. A much lighter color. Just see what comes of it. Very, very thin line. All the way up to the top here. And we're going to repeat it here. In theory, in a smaller line. And then down on this edge without touching the red. It might be too bright. Hello? You missed all the fucking issues with the stream earlier. So part of the issue is there's so much other blue space. Maybe I need to take really dark blue, do the same idea now that I've boxed myself into that corner. Oops. Let's get some more white on here. Oops. That's a little more paint than I was expecting. Ruh-roh. That's okay. It was just a fucked up feed because I had to like redo everything. And then of course now as you see on the screen, the little overlays aren't even working right, but I got tired of fucking with it. So that's how it's gonna look for now. So I got this color. It's darker. I don't know if that's the way to go or not. I think we're gonna mix it some more. Try not to get it in the ferrule of the brush because that would be stupid. So part of the issue with the true metallic metal is it doesn't really water down that well. So if I'm trying to do a nice thin layer, I don't think it's gonna work like I think it's gonna work, like other paint does. So it doesn't separate well. That's why you never really have to add a lot of water when you're doing it. So we'll try that anyway. So now I'm just going to try to add some contrast, just some darker in that little crevice here. Kind of like how we did the cape earlier. And I don't know if you can hear that stupid idiot dog yapping, but welcome to my life. So I got it dark. I'm going to put some more dark in here as well, actually, because I went and did the midsection the same. Oh, that dog's gonna drive me bonkers. I say this loud and proud. Dogs are cute, cats are better. So, I don't know if that really had the effect I was going for. It's very difficult to tell, and I think it's very hard to catch on the camera. If it wants to focus, and I think it's more curious to focus on my hand. So there is now 4 colors in there. There's the dark one I just put, the original base layer, lighter layer and a fine highlight layer. And it doesn't look, I don't know, it doesn't look awful, but I don't know if it's exactly what I want. It was just a matter of me wanting to do something a little different, little pearlescent color, mixed myself, which I don't do very often. But now I think I need to maybe refine it. It's probably not going to blend very well. Now I'm just kind of getting a little bit more of the mid-tone, I guess, on there. And then we can go back with the brightest tone, brightest highlight. And I just want to scratch that surface. And then this got painted back over, so we're going to go back over that one. It looks like this got a little bit of paint over it as well. So I'll bonk my head on the light and then take a look here. It's just not dark enough. Maybe I will. So here's the shade that you would normally use for the silver. Did my camera just flip the wrong direction? Sure looks like it did. Bonked my head and the camera flipped. That's super dope. Why did it do that? Okay. I don't know why the fuck it did that. Anyway, point being is if I add some of this shade to the blue, it's also got a little bit of the metallic in it. So I'm just going to wing this on the fly. Make this darker. Hopefully lighter. No, I usually just kind of wing it, and whatever happens as I'm going, I kind of just go with it. There's been times where I've had to like redo something, because it's not, when painted up, it just doesn't look like what I want. Kind of like the direction this is going right now, to be honest. But no, usually it's, I have a bunch of paints in front of me on my little paint wall. And I look at something and I just kind of start painting it, and kind of whatever happens, happens. With the exception of like this guy, because Imperial Fists are yellow and their schemes are pretty set. But everything else, like even the base that I did for this guy, I literally just started fucking around with the base, picking whatever colors I wanted, and that's how it's come out so far. So it's definitely more just feel, I guess. For better or for worse. And then in a situation like this, where I'm super unsure about something, as I am with this cape, this front loinclothy cape, excuse me, I'm not super liking it. So it may end up just kind of sitting on my table for X amount of time. And then I either realize I like it, I realize how to tie it together, or I paint over it and start again. with another color, with another direction, with whatever. So some models end up sitting for a while because I just can't get back into them because of the direction taken. And some models continue until near end, and then I have a hard time being satisfied, with something and done with something. Yeah, I'm not sure about it. There's like a hair on it, which is fun. I see where it's going, but it's a very hard line. This one was an image that I found online of a galaxy that was kind of like a red galaxy. The other ones that I've done were more just kind of what I thought galaxies looked like, and it was just purple and blues. And I think I put a little bit of pink in one of them. But this one was more or less, okay, I saw something and I was like, oh, I'm gonna try to kind of sort of recreate it. So sometimes I'll look at a picture. I guess in this case I did, but for the most part, no, it's just kind of whatever I think at the time, be it wrong or right. I don't like the look of this. I don't know if a blue... I just got this from Army Painter. Looks fairly dark. Let me try something. So, again, with just kind of playing around, I understand what speed paints do for the most part. They're a much lighter paint. Good for covering things, and I can water it down further with some speed paint medium. So let's give it a shot. It doesn't really focus, but whatever. So then it should give a kind of a really thin, not a glaze, but just a tint, maybe is the right word, to kind of tint down some of these harsher lines on here while still being able to see the sparkles that I put in here, I think. So we're going to try that. And then of course we got to try to get underneath just a little bit, which is always a fun challenge. This stupid pointy cock piece on here. So essentially what that did was it kind of softened and almost blended for me some of the lines that I did on here. So it may have achieved what I wanted. Maybe. Of course, now when you get to this stage, you got to be a lot more careful of not painting over other stuff. So that's a bit of a bitch, but suppose I could always just go back over the gold. It's definitely softened some of those edges a little bit. sometimes you need tweezers to pull out annoying fucking hairs that somehow get stuck in the paint. There we go. I see I got a little paint on the gold there, but that's not a big deal. Maybe it's too dark now? Or I need to darken in here more. Oh, look, the chat's now moving on the box. That's fucking weird. Thanks, Streamlabs. It's still, you can still kind of make out some of the sparkles in it from using that metallic paint, but it's not really where I want it to be, I don't think. I don't know. This is one of those situations that I was mentioning earlier where I probably have to let this sit and then stare at it a bunch of times and decide if I like it or not. I think as it stands now, I don't like it. I don't know. It's definitely got some contrast in there. So I switched to cold. Everything else is warm. I switched to cold for the deepest parts of that cape. I think maybe if I contrast the rest of the cape more, again, all in theory, it may bring out the blue. It may tie it together better, maybe. So we're gonna get a nice little thin layer here. Just gonna run it down that little crevice. Who cares what we got there? I may end up needing a little bit of black just to, just to really kind of make it as contrasty as this one is, because this is really contrasty. I don't know. Something's not working with it. Maybe it's just a matter of it's too dark. Needs to be lightened up a little bit. I don't know anybody else in chat what they're thinking of this blue. I'm very undecided. I think I hate it. I'm just not sure. It's not working for me for some reason. There may be another way to do it, but I'd probably have to redo all the colors and put like another base layer of white down or something. I don't think I'm going to leave it for now. I don't think I want to think about it. So, I really want to grab purple and use purple. I'm not going to, though. The red, maybe it's the red what? Being the not the good color? But I think the red looks fine. I think it's the blue that's throwing me off. Because the blue as it is doesn't blend like everything else. What the fuck? Yeah, the blue is my problem with it for sure. It's too wet. So while I think about the blue, I'm gonna do a gem. If I didn't go red with it, I would have gone purple, but I'm trying to not use purple with this one at all. Because I use purple and everything, and I need to try different things here and there. So I'm just trying to get a crescent moon shapey into that gem. It wants to show it. Ugh, that chat box is driving me fucking bonkers. Gonna have to do a test stream after this just to fix it. Needs to be thinner. Going with Neptune Blue, can't even talk, for that gem as the higher highlight. Stop moving. Just trying to paint this without knocking it off the thing here. Now the tip is fucked up. Let's try that again. gonna mix some black into that main color. I think the black... How is my camera changing like that? I don't understand this. Fuck you, Streamlabs. No! Streamlabs, I'm gonna lose my mind on you any minute now. Lots of technical difficulties. Gotta love it. So we're going to add some black to the main color on here to try to darken it up and kind of keep it with the same feel. Hopefully. Without getting it in the ferrule. Don't want it in there. Okay. Literally just mixing some paint here, so that's what's taking so damn long. Mixing on the fly. Probably never be able to make that color again. But it needs a little bit more depth in the top half. Of this little crescent we're making here. So we're almost going to do like we did with the cape, and we're going to kind of brush away from the color. And try to remember that there's a camera, you got to keep it in. I don't know who's singing right now, but this is a much better Chester than whoever they got. So we're just kind of glaze layering this. Just like we did on the cape. And then at the end, we would then put a gloss varnish on it just to give it a little extra shine. It's better. Check that thinness. I don't know who this is. This is some royalty-free music. And it's not bad. Toronto is broken. Okay. Sure. So we're going to lighten up some of the color in the mid-tone. This is a weird cover. Not a very good cover at that. You're still awake. In him I say that dry mouth. Our intentions. Freedom. So I've not done a gem in a really long time. I think I only ever did one. So once again, I'm just kind of playing around and seeing what I like and what works. The sunshine. So we're gonna put some white on there to see if adding those reflections ends up making me like it more. Because I'm not sure, just the regular old matte white. What a weird choice. So, we're gonna go with that, I think. If it wants to focus once again. I think for the gem, get my hand out of the way maybe. Or add it. I don't know how to get that thing to focus. Focus, you beach. Let's turn it up. There we go. So there's the gem. It's kind of a turquoisey gem. And then with gloss varnish on it, it'll kind of bring it out a little bit more. But yeah, there's a gem. And I don't mind it actually. When you're in stages like this, like when I did the cape, I varnished the cape. I just use like Army Painter varnish, just brush on. And with these, you gotta keep it sideways because it doesn't mix right, and sideways seems to keep it more level, more out, and it's easier to mix afterwards. If you leave it like this, it's a pain in the ass to try to mix. So I guess it would help if it was on the fucking camera. If you keep it sideways and not up and down, it mixes much easier. This way, everything settles to the bottom, and I don't know if it hardens or what, but it's awful to try to mix. This way seems to keep it liquidy enough and easier to mix when they got their little stainless steel balls in there. I think I do like that gem actually. So it was kind of a bitch to do. So I think we're gonna put some varnish on it now. I'm gonna bust out my little disgusting destroyed brush. Once it wants to be on the camera. So I don't like putting the varnish on my wet palette. I don't know why. It probably makes no difference. But I'm going to put it on this one. Little paper towel. Really mix the shit out of this. And in theory, that should be okay. In theory. We're gonna try it out here. So we're just gonna varnish just the gem. Because of everything else around it, if you happen to slip, get a brush on it, it just makes it easier to kind of clean it up and save the work that you did on it. Save, maybe is not the right word, but preserve it. It's easier to clean up anyway. So I'm clutching it close, just trying to look to see how well that varnished. May give it a nice shake. I'm gonna give it another go here. I'm not sure that got everything out, to be honest. Varnish is a real tricky bitch to properly get it to mix and then come out nicely. It's not my favorite thing to paint. I've seen somebody use resin, like super high gloss resin, on stuff like this, and then just get the little light and set it, and it's actually a really good idea. I quite like that idea, but I'm not into the resin shit yet. I feel like there was a hair in there, but maybe not. So, let's see if I can get them in there. It's obviously hard to see because it is a small little feature. But there's the gem. It is glossed over with gloss varnish that's in the process of drying. So I think that turned out okay, and it's also one of the colors that I used on the cape in the back. There's lots of little gems, and kind of my thought initially was to use some of those colors throughout with the gems as a sort of tie it all together thing. These little dots are actually the main color of that. You can see them or not, but yeah, that's kind of the idea with the gem. And the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's at least another 10 gems that probably should get painted. These little ones on the head I don't consider. It's usually only the ones that have the gold rim around it that I'll consider to be a set-in gem. But yeah, that's that one. So what I'd like to do is let the kind of rest of it settle. I have a bunch of silver and gold on his staff. So that color on the staff is the first of the triad, I guess, of the true metallic metals, sterling silver. Very, very nice silver. It's a little light, but the shades makes up for it quite quickly. There's the middle part, so you would use this shade, as I'm about to. And then you use the light, which is actually the white on the helmet, to kind of highlight everything. It's a really, really nice setup, and I really, really, really like Vallejo as TMM. And if they ever happen to watch this stream, hint, 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 send me an email, Vallejo. Okay, so we're gonna just kind of dunk some shade into that and let it kind of seep in and do its magic, because it's going to drop into the recesses all over this, and it's going to darken up all the other colors. Once you kind of get it in, you can bring your brush back, move it around. There's that stupid fucking dog again. So wet brush or damp brush, and I want to pull some of the eyes back with the amount that have kind of sat in there. Pull the eyes back a little bit. And you got a little tiny bit of time to maybe move some of it around if you like. And then you kind of got to leave it, or you're going to start getting weird coffee stains where there's big circles in your work, and nobody wants that shit. So do the same thing to the other side. The gold also has a shade color that is different, so that can come after. Just kind of get it in there. Again, kind of go back with the damp brush, and you can manipulate kind of some of the settling. Sometimes you take too much out and you have to go back and add it in, but that's not a big deal. So now kind of get that almost automatic depth to it, right in the little triangle bit there. So now we got the staff itself, which is going to be a bitch because of that reason right there where it likes to pool. But whatever, we'll do it anyway here. Going to touch other stuff because it's just going to want to go to any area that's kind of lower, and it's not really a whole lot you can do about it. But if you apply it quickly, you can go back and pull some of that up, which I will do in a second here, just like I did on the triangle head piece bit. But you got to move fairly quickly, otherwise you might get staining out of it, which most people don't want. And if it's a little bit damper, I find it picks it up better. So just trying to pull some of that color back. Just don't want it to pull too much on like the lighter colors like the red. And I'm just trying to give the staff a little bit of a weathered look. I'm not applying it too evenly. I'm not applying it too heavy. Just kind of getting a little bit on there so that it's not such a shiny and perfect object, which I don't ever believe it would be. There, so I just kind of darkened the staff up just a little bit. There's an awkward piece of staff that's kind of in behind the cape, and I don't want to touch that for now. That's a problem for another time. But I added a few little silver pieces in the midst of the gold, so it wasn't all gold. It's some sort of weird little teardroppy bit. So I'll put a little bit of the shade on there just because. I don't know if you can tell, but I actually put silver and shaded in between the helmet here as well. It's hard to see. It's another really small detail that's hard to get it on camera, to be honest with you. So the gold that I used was Arcane Gold. Very, very nice gold. And the shade for the Arcane Gold looks like this, unmixed, obviously. The shades you gotta mix pretty good. They settle, I find they settle really quick. So I got one of those little auto mixers, which you're hearing is probably annoying right now. Give it a little extra shake so you can kind of see it almost looks green in the bottle, but it's not. Maybe it is a little bit green, you know, now that I look at it. Some darker greens maybe tinted in there. Greeny brown, maybe. So there's a shitload of gold, as you can see. And I just want to really give it a nice coating. Gold I'm going to make a little rougher. It's going to get all these little detail spots as well. It's just going to sink right in there. I'm going to get all in here. Spin it around. Just kind of give it some worn look, weathered look maybe. There's a lot of little crevices in here that I want to just fill up with this stuff. And get it to just kind of cover everything. I don't know what the fuck music is playing now. Sounds like Rihanna or something. So you can see the difference. Shade and non-shade. Shade obviously being the top portion. Kind of really gives it a nice weathery look to it. And I quite like that shade. So lots of gold on this thing. So we're going to go in and hit other stuff here. Lots of gold, lots of gold, lots of gold. If you give it a little extra sweep, you're going to kind of prevent some of that real intense pooling from happening, which can look a little off-putting if it's just a big, obvious glob. You do have some time, as I said, to kind of move it around, rework it a little bit. So half the issue with this one is trying to get it to stay on the gold and not go into silver, which it did immediately there. So it's a goal, but not always achievable. So see how it pooled so much there? You can kind of sweep it back. Probably too much on the brush currently, but we're just going to kind of cover it with the side. Maybe give it a little rinse. Thanks for coming. It's gonna pool no matter what you do, honestly, so you just gotta work quick. Work quick and try not to go back over the same spot with a full brush. There we go. So it's nice and darkened. It's a big difference. You can see kind of the regular gold on this side, and then you can see the post shade on this side. It's quite a difference between the two. I want to throw some in here and just see what it comes out looking like. Once again, I got to stay in the camera. It's got all these nice little crevices in this wrist bracey bling. I just kind of want to get some in there, and I want to see what it looks like at the end here. Here's some more gold. I'm just going to cover that shit up. And then he's got these little knuckle, I don't know, brass knucks, I guess. I don't know what they're actually called in lore or anything, but I gotta bonk my fucking head on the thing again. Can't go wrong with balcony sitting. If there wasn't a million billion bugs and no lighting, no good lighting out there, I'd probably try to paint out there. So all I need to do is to try to paint something and find out later there's a friggin' dead bug in it or something. That would be fantastic. And not in a good way. Even that might not be enough. So now I'm just kind of going over some of this gold because it's so prevalent on this guy. I want to get some of it shaded, and then maybe we can start working on next steps next time. It's fine if you build up nice and dark when it's like the inside of that hilt, because obviously that's a lot more of a shaded area. So if you leave big globs and shit in there, it's not a big deal. Underneath, pretty much same rules as far as I'm concerned. Forgot about this little silver piece, so we're gonna bring some silver shade back. And because everything's so close together, it'll stick, it'll bounce over other things, it'll make big glob pieces, and you just gotta clean it up. It's annoying, but that's part of using that kind of paint. So I got this headpiece here. I want to get some shade on it. This is me pulling it close to myself again, so heads up. I will more than likely have to go back and put some white down, because it's very hard to hit this without hitting everything. That's me holding my breath now. Not bad. There's a little bit of a spot in there, but not bad. There is so much gold on this guy. Jesus. I got some sort of weird French metal or prog metal. I don't fucking know. So this is me just looking at it. Just start putting paint down and see what happens. That's what I do. Ugh, these are hurting my fucking face. Ugh. Yo, what up, Remnant? For a filthy Xenos, well, suck on that gem, bitch. Xenos are rich. Look at that. Look at that. This dude definitely drives a G-Wagon. Come on now. Filthy Xenos. Son of a bitch. I'm certain that Trazen already has a shitload of them. There is no doubt in my mind. If Trazen could shrink them down and paint them himself, he would. They need a new Trazen model. Like, badly. None of this fucking resin garbage. Not only is it resin, which I refuse to work with ever again, but it's just a shitty model. I mean, as much as Orkin was a dick, it's not wrong. He kind of had Trajan fully figured out, considering they were best friends for centuries. It's almost like Bad Omens. I sometimes get that Bad Omens-y vibe when I think of that book. Although Bad Omens might have been more clear-cut friends than Orkin and Trazen, but... fuck this fucking tiny-ass gold fucking bullshit. That's right, it's a chill stream, but I will definitely cuss up a fucking storm if I feel like it. I have a Trajan somewhere. Oh, here he is. Want to see a real shitty Trazen? Or not Trazen, Orkin? That was probably painted... Ooh, fuck. Definitely at least a year ago. Another one of my collection that needs a redo. His model is so much better than Trajan's, though. Ugh, I hate looking at it. It's bad. So bad. Blah. Bye-bye. Get the fuck out of here. See? Even you think it's bad. You son of a bitch. You're supposed to be supportive. Seriously, that was a bad model. Ugh, I don't even want to look about it. Well, plus my new Necron theme will be a little bit different. I've seen that Trajan printed sitting on the throne. It was fucking awesome. Meanwhile, GW's got their hands over their eyes going, la 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 la. Like, you're gonna give us that, what is it, Necrosaur? Whatever the fuck it is, but you're not gonna give us a new Trajan? You're gonna give us a new, Jesus Christ, I just forgot the name. The Reaper guy. Total blank. Knight something? I am drawing a blank. I want to say Night Lord, but I don't know if that's correct. Anyway, you give us a new one of those, and you don't bother with Trajan. 16... Dude, if you print a Trajan on the throne, you know you're going to have to send me one, right? Like, that's just the rules. You have to. Ugh. My favorite part, if I can reach it, is I just finished, for the time, repainting him, and then redoing the base, because the base that he came with was fucking trash. And not 2 weeks later, they're like, oh, here's a much cooler new model. I still really like the base, though. Oh well. Yeah, I don't know why I tried, and it still doesn't. Like, I get that you want to raw blueberries, but come on, GW. Trajan is... The Infinite and the Divine is arguably the #1 book that people say, go and read this and get a glimpse at the Warhammer 40k world. Trajan should have been right there with Orican at the same time, if not first. And it will forever piss me off until they redo it. And honestly, they should do him sitting on a throne. Give me a 80 mil base with Trajan on it, sitting on a throne. Fuck yeah. But maybe Necrons don't sell like we think they do. I'm just fixing his feet here. Here's his base. At least the in-process base, anyway. Oh, this lag is fucking nuts. Yeah, there's his base. Got some work to do. I figured I would go nice and dull in comparison. So, I think my gold shade is dried up a little bit. So that's good. I really like that gem, actually. Now the real question is I got that gem and that gem. Do I do them the same or do I do them different? Because I wouldn't consider it being an all the way through gem, because that's just oddly shaped. It's two different gems. That's the real question. Do I do them the same? I have to use maybe some of these colors. I probably should do them the same color. Otherwise it would look weird. Two separate gems would look odd. One gem they split in half and put on either side of his little a horny bit. That's right, you guys all heard me. Yeah, I'll probably do one color, but what color is the question? Maybe just red, like a nice pure red up there, because it's different than this one. He is, look, see? Easy now. There's a warning on the stream. People know that things will be said. That's a sufficient enough warning as far as I'm concerned. Yeah, probably red. There's the... Let's see if I can get it on the stream here. I know, I'm not acknowledging your point. So... Oh, fucking focus, you son of a bitch. You can see how it's really kind of sunk in all to all those details and really just kind of give it some depth, like it's really popping out. That shade Vallejo TMM stuff is excellent. Really, really is. So if we do that one, do a pure red. Where are we at? 4. So that's a really red. If it's coming from that direction, probably not really going to get a light there. Holy shit. It's almost 10 o'clock. How the hell did I do the other side? I think I'm gonna have to fix this one. So we're just taking that red and we're doing the other gems. A nice bright red, if it'll fucking show. Night. Thanks for coming. It's probably not a bad call, actually. You still in here, Remnant? Love you. Not you, Remnant. Okay, guys. I think that's it for me. Got a lot of the detail in. A lot of the darkness. Kind of shaded up a bunch of stuff. Got the first gem on and varnished. Got some plans for the other, at least two of the other ones. Shaded up in there. I'm still unsure about the blue. I don't know if I like it or not. This whole blue may have to change. I gotta think about it. Add a little bit extra layers to that. And I don't know, there's the cape that everybody seems to like. So I'm gonna try something that I have not tried before. I want to see if I can do it, because I don't actually know. Let's see. No rateable channels. Okay. Sure. Let's throw you guys over here. Operation could not be completed. Oh, boo. Thanks everybody for coming. I'm going to try to raid this stream one more time, because I've never done it. And I'm curious. No, I'm getting an error. Well, anyway guys, thank you for coming. I'm going to try to make Monday a regular thing. Have yourselves a good night. That's it, that's all.